They are haters. Passerby, along with the 4 other captains, got up and slowly walked to the center of the arena. Among these 4, he only knew Wang Dao from Big River Town's 5th middle school to have a withered bone mantis pet, as he encountered him before in the Trainer Pet Tamer survival challenge. Please draw lots 1 by 1. The same colors will duel against each other, while the single color will directly advance. He first reached out and drew a round ball. He opened it and saw a red paper inside. Okay, Passerby of Carp Town's team drew red. Wang Dao next drew a round ball and revealed a white note inside. Wang Dao from Big River Town drew white. The captain of Hushy Town was a girl more than 1.7 meters tall and in possession of long, well-proportioned legs. She was the only one in her team's town to have a warlord pet and drew a red note. Zhong Yu from Hushy Town drew red. With this, the first competing teams for today's game have been determined. Carp Town and Hushy Town will be facing each other. Despite anticipating this result, Passerby was still quite disappointed. Fortunately, the opponent in the first round was not Big River Town or Maple Leaf Town, as both those teams had warlord pets. Zhong Yu glanced at him and smiled in satisfaction, feeling that Hushy Town would have a sure win in the first round. Following which, Maple Leaf Town and Whitestone Town drew green notes. This meant that they would be competing in the second round. Poor Whitestone Town had to fight one of the strongest contenders right from the get-go. Big River Town, which everyone recognized as the strongest contender, directly advanced to the next stage. The drawing of lots is now over. The teams competing in the first round are Carp Town and Hushy Town, while in the second round, it will be Maple Leaf Town and Whitestone Town. Big River Town will directly advance to the next stage of the competition. Now, I'd like to invite back the players to the rest area. The first round will begin immediately, the host announced in a passionate voice. The atmosphere in the arena became heated as well, and the audience began having lively discussions about each team. Suddenly, a bevy of beautiful girls raised a big banner and enthusiastically shouted, "Passerby, we're rooting for you. The old fox is omnipotent and invincible." The oversized banner and the cheering beautiful girls immediately attracted the audience's attention. Who is Passerby? Why are there so many girls cheering for him? It's that guy with the black headband. Could these girls be fake supporters he hired? His 2 pets aren't even that outstanding. Oh, you don't know him? He's the famous old fox, the recent Trainer Pet Tamer survival challenge winner. He employed schemes to provoke and lure other participants, using poison and all sorts of despicable methods to turn the impossible into possible. Everyone knows him because of that. I know him, too. That guy is a complete show-off. Someone even set up an old fox forum solely dedicated to him. There'll always be fans for everyone, someone scoffed. I have 17 cards. Can you beat me? That's how the Waterfire Gemini twins were beaten straight away last time. Forget it. The girls over there are so beautiful. If I say that I'm also a fan, can I get close to them? F***ck, stop looking. You can't learn it. The originally harmonious atmosphere in the auditorium instantly changed because of the huge banner. Some speculated that they had been hired, while others talked about Passerby's past performance. Anyway, they suddenly pushed him to the cusp of the storm. Passerby returned to the rostrum with a dazed look. I didn't hire anyone. What's wrong with these people? Are they haters? He looked around and finally settled his eyes on a certain someone. It's not me. I can't afford to hire so many beautiful girls. Shalei quickly shook his head. He wanted to but did not even have money. Who did you offend? Chen Roshue was also surprised. This was a sneaky method of causing him to fail due to excessive praise. Don't worry about it. The first game is starting right away. You should make your preparations, said Chen Bo with his face covered. Passerby thought for a while and shouted loudly, they're haters. Everyone should know right from wrong. I'm a good person. It was obviously useless, however. My reputation is ruined. He sat down beside his girlfriend and complained. Chen Roshue turned to look at him. Why do I feel like you're still smiling? Passerby looked at her and could not help but grin. Really? I was just wondering if my handsomeness shocked those girls, so they came at the critical moment to help. He had initially been worried about the poor effect of his advertising, but someone had actually indirectly helped him with this move, so now everyone was suddenly focusing on him. Chen Roshue, why didn't I notice how thick-skinned you are? How much did you charge for the? Su Bai chuckled. Enough to provide for you. Get lost. You haven't even paid me the protection fees yet. As they talked, the contest started. Now, I announce, the first round of the 5 Towns Spring Festival competition. Carp Town will have a duel against Hushi Town. Each person can only be on stage once, and the match is over when everyone in one team loses. Next, I invite Carp Town's team to send their first member to defend the ring, and Hushi Town's team to send a member to attack it. The host finished the lengthy and announced the rules of the first round before retiring to the rest area. In the playing field, the originally clean and tidy floor retreated on both sides to reveal a bumpy yellow ground. Oh, Su Bai, come on. The arena burst into enthusiastic cheers, and the group of girls raised the large banner and shouted enthusiastically. Who'll play? Chen Bo asked. I will. Su Bai stood up and smiled. Hand the first big match to me. I'm going to prove that I'm a strong player, not an old fox. He originally did not want to fight this early, but after obtaining the contract and being hated on, he felt like it was time for him to take action. Purple Jade, let's go. Su Bai put on a black cloak with the pattern of a green plum. He took a green plum energy medicinal cake and brought the cub on stage. Today's game is really the highlight. The first player from Carp Town is Su Bai, who is the champion of a recently held competition. The cheers are loud no matter in the live broadcast room or here in the stadium. I'm looking forward to who Hushi Town will send. The host emceed in a suspenseful voice. In the eyes of everyone, sending the captain out in the first match was the team begging to lose. No matter how good their cards were, they should not send the king first, should they? Isn't this too much? The captain is being sent in the first battle. Is there really no one else in Carp Town? It's too much of a big leap. Is Carp Town directly giving up on the competition? I don't understand. They're probably noobs. Baby Su, fly as you please. We'll always follow you. Come on. You can do it. Su Bai glanced at the crowd and told them, the group of people with the big banner are my haters. Don't believe them. I am legit and don't play dirty tricks. From here, I'll show you how I can defeat an entire team in seconds with my pet. I'll prove to you my true strength. The loudspeakers broadcasted his words for everyone to hear. The arena suddenly fell silent, and then bursts of laughter exploded. Why is he rubbing my IQ on the ground? I can't believe how ridiculous he is. He's really tooting his own horn. If he defeats an entire team in seconds, I'll stand upside down and drink water. He's just talking big. Try harder. I'll shampoo my head upside down if he wins. If he wins, I'll walk back upside down. He might be accepting one loss to ensure 2 wins. Don't laugh yet. For a while, the live broadcast room became filled with a lively atmosphere. Su Bai's words only elicited a roar of mockery, and no one really took them to heart. He wanted to defeat in seconds 4 high-level servants and a warlord pet with his single high-level slave? Was he kidding? Not mentioning the audience, even Yang Ju and Jiang Yang were in disbelief. What's he doing? This doesn't seem like his style. Yang Ju was puzzled. Is he blinded by fury? It's unwise to say such a thing, and it'll be so embarrassing if he loses. Jiang Yang was also puzzled. Everyone, including these two, was now completely focused on Su Bai and had lost interest in the other matches. Actually, I think my brother can win. Su Yu looked at the cub and nodded. Young man, don't be blindly confident. There's no way. I think he really became confused because of the girls. Yang Ju patted Su Yu on the shoulder, indicating that he did not need to put his confidence on his older brother forcefully. Yeah, you're still young, so you can't tell the disparity in the contestants' strength. Jiang Yang also nodded. Su Yu glanced at them and stopped talking. None of us spent money to hire actors, right? Zhong Yu, the captain of Hushi Town, looked at the others questioningly. The other 4 players exchanged glances. Nobody among them had hired actors. It seems like they're really ready to give up on themselves. It's not surprising, since they don't even have a warlord pet. Su Bai is tactful. Hushi Town was also delighted with his move. Soon, Hushy Town sent a young man. His pet was a high-level servant, the sulphate fire ant. The fire ant was 30 centimeters tall and 1 meter long. It not only had some huge and hideous mandible but also had a pair of huge pliers that ordinary ants did not have. You want to defeat the 5 of us with your measly wood pet? I'll let you know the consequence of tooting your own horn. The teen sneered coldly. In response to Subai's arrogant tone, Hushy Town sent the member with sulphate fire ant, which is very restrained against the wood pet. This suddenly made the result of the match unpredictable. I hereby announce the official start of the first match. Sulphate fire ant, use fireball. As soon as the host's voice fell, the young man gave his order. Actually, he was afraid that Subai really had some trump card, so he wanted to attack first. Buddy, cover the arena with your vines. Let them bloom here. The sulphate fire ant condensed and sprayed fireballs, but the ground suddenly broke out in waves of earthquake. Numerous huge thorns, with the thickness of an adult's thigh, dug out from the depths of the earth. Smoke and dust spread all across the field instantly. The sulphate fire ant's fireballs burned 7 or 8 vines but were unable to proceed. The sturdy vines with sharp, purple barbs had such a powerful visual impact the audience's eyes widened instantly and their mouths closed. In the next instant, countless small white flowers bloomed, and their strange fragrance permeated the air in the stadium. Domain characteristics. The young man felt shocked to see this scene. Such a powerful domain was making him tremble in fear. Sulphate fire ant, use fire shield to isolate the pollen, then use sulfuric acid to burn a path. It's useless. Buddy, use vine whip. Subai instructed. In the next moment, 6 or 7 thick vine whips came from all directions like giant snakes. The sulphate fire ant quickly sprayed sulfuric acid to burn the thorny vines. With a bang, a vine emerged from the ground and coiled around the pet like a python. In the blink of an eye, it had wrapped itself around the fire ant's body and pierced it with sharp thorns. Toxin and parasitic seeds poured into it continuously. Subai emerges victorious. The referee quickly announced, slightly caught off guard at the speed of the battle. By the time the sulphate fire ant was released, it was already unconscious. The vines still stood upright, occupying most of the arena. Be it in the live broadcast room or the live venue, it was the first time they had seen the Cubs' Thorns domain and were dazed for a moment. They had heard of Thorns domain before, but the vines were generally as thick as a finger and about 5 or 6 centimeters in diameter. So why were the Cubs' vines more than 20 centimeters in diameter and thicker than a human's thigh? This kind of thorns domain would render the opponent defenseless, would it not? Zhong Yu's face, in particular, darkened upon seeing this. She also knew how terrifying a wood pet's thorns domain was, for she also had a wood pet, the forest deer. Could it be that the boy was not being arrogant when he said that he could win against all 5 of them? Similarly, the other 3 teams were very confused. Thorn's domain was unbelievably powerful. It was as if a commander pet skill was directly attached to a high-level servant. What was going on? Could they fight him? I told you I'm legit. Do you believe me now? Subai surveyed the audience and said seriously. Chimph, no. Talk only if you can win all 5 matches. Isn't it just Thorn's domain? Do you think you're invincible? Ridiculous. The audience still stubbornly refused to bow their heads, but their voices were obviously much softer, and no one dared to mention their previous promises to drink upside down. The captain of Hushy Town, Zhong Yu, who has a warlord pet, has directly stepped out as the second offensive player. They seem to have felt the pressure from Subai. His pet's terrifying Thorn's domain is really a form which has never been seen before, and its suppressing power is too great in the field. I wonder if her forest deer can handle it. In any case, I announce the official start of this second match. In the arena, the female captain looked at him and asked, "Are you accepting 1 loss for 2 wins?" Zhong Yu was afraid now and could not let the other members send themselves up to die. She felt like she could personally defeat this boy. Subai shook his head and laughed. "No, I just feel like there's no worthy opponent. You're too arrogant. Forest deer, use pasture field." She did not bother arguing with him and directly launched an attack. The audience did not expect the forest deer to have a domain as well. A huge pasture directly enveloped the battlefield, and green grass instantly turned the ground into a dark green shade. However, the cub's thick thorns still dominated the field and could not be suppressed at all. Its thorns domain had already been strengthened long ago by Su-bai. Buddy, use falling leaves and vine whip. Under his order, all the vine's leaves inside the cub's thorny domain fell, and even the grass of the forest deer showed signs of wilting, but since this was the other party's domain, it grew quickly again like the spring breeze. In the next moment, only thick vines with sharp barbs moved, attacking from 6 or 7 directions. Forest deer, grass knot, corroding energy ball, bleat. Upon hearing her order, the green deer started casting spells. The grass on the ground suddenly grew taller and entangled with the vines. It pulled on the vines, and despite how powerful the latter was, the warlord Petsfield could not be underestimated. Not only that, but the grass beside the cub stretched out like a python and quickly wrapped around its limbs. Purple Jade, use Crush Claw to break free. Jump onto the vines, ordered Su-bai, looking at the green condensed energy ball. With crackling sounds, the cub used the said skill to cut through the grass, and jumped onto the vines. A huge green energy ball flew out of the grass to the ground, eroding the thick vines in an instant as it flew to the cub. However, at this critical moment, a vine pulled the cub away, saving it from the dangerous attack. Fortunately, with the broken vine whip as a buffer, the cub managed to pull itself away in time. Page, you're really lucky. Zhong Yu was quite irritated that Purple Jade had dodged her pet's attack. Logically, most would condense shields in defense if they were restrained and their opponents condensed attack energy balls in the distance. Su-bai, meanwhile, actually thought of breaking free from the restraint first. Otherwise, the success rate of the energy ball sneak attack from the ground would be almost 100%. What she did not know was that Su-bai had, in fact, seen all the details of forest deer right from the very start. In front of him, she was almost naked and he could predict all her next moves. Now, it was time for him to take action.